Yes. Nothing like hitting the go live button before the countdown button so you can see us for 6 seconds and our lovely faces going. All right, let's do this. Welcome to the NBA DFS pre-lock live stream here at WinDailySports.com. My name is Jon Jansen. Follow me at JJansen34. Follow Ghost at DFS_Ghost. This is all sponsored by the Sharp app. Sharp.app is where you can find all of your betting needs, including for tonight's NBA action. So go check out the Sharp app. You can download it any of the app stores that you use, like the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. And also subscribe to WinDailySports.com. Ghost. We have 5 games, 6 games, 5 games, 6 games. Why am I okay? 5 games. I was like, why am I forgetting it? I know it's 5 or 6. 5 games on tonight's DFS slate. And we were talking about this before we went on, not the 6 seconds that we got on and then waited for the countdown, but before we got on even that, about this slate seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it?
Yeah, no matter how many lineups I end up landing on, I'm locking in the same 4 guys no matter what. So it's going to be pretty straightforward in terms of where I start. And then after that, that's where things get interesting. I really like these size slates. You're able to, keep the same tight core guys that you want to from lineup to lineup, varying from contest to contest. And then you could get different elsewhere. And there's more than enough options for us to be able to do that.
Yeah, plenty of options. And even as you see here, as we bring it up at the top as well, there's some nice options. Nikola Jokic, Giannis, Steph Curry, even James Harden, all on one slate. I know we have a few outs in between all that, but there are some options at the top. And it seems like we already know where one Adam is going.
Yeah, it's one of I told you before the show, I was locking in 4 guys. One of them is going to be James Harden.
Do you want to go over that franchise right away? Is that going to be at the core of most of your lineups? Is these 4 guys?
And yeah, we could start like that.
Harden. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 guys are actually going to be from the Nets. 3 out of the 4. So we'll go to the next game. We're going to go to all the way down on the pricing grid, and we're going to play Sharp at 3,300 at the center position. Last time I had a player grading out this well for me was $4,600 Andre Drummond with no Joel Embiid. So I'm playing Sharp at 3,300.
Yeah, that's pretty good. If anybody doesn't know what turned out with that, he ended up doing really well. So
yeah, it was a lot of 20-20 performances. So a lot of 20-point, 20 rebound games. And I know people are going to look at game logs. You can't with a guy like Sharp, not with the way that he performs when he gets the minutes. So, and there's just simply not a big enough sample size, but the talent is there, and playing the worst team on both ends of the glass is absolutely huge for him. He's going to be able to grab some offensive rebounds too. So all my top bets are featuring Sharp as well. So I got a new prop model going out. It's going to be testing out tonight, and
that's absolutely a sharp play by you. Wink, wink, wink.
And it absolutely loves his props tonight, so I'll give those out towards the end of the show. But
I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. I'm so mad.
Made me laugh. That the third guy is also going to be a Brooklyn Net. Okay. No, I'm laughing with you. I'm laughing at you because you're a 76er fan, though. Because Doc Rivers has no idea what he's doing. But
yeah, I mean we've gone over this, but yeah, I mean last night was one where we can also again go over it. He sucked. He was horrible.
Just I can't stand it, but we gotta save that.
His answer to why did you put Drummond and Embiid out there at the same time? He said, "Well, nothing else was working." What?
What?
You had no strategic idea of how it would work. You just went, bleep it. Why not? Cool, man. That's great. Thank you for your professional.
I have no idea what was going on in his mind. I could make up a better excuse than that just off the top of my head right now. We did not talk about this beforehand, and all you had to do was say Niang had 4 fouls. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like you can make something up like that just for you to not sound completely incompetent. And it's just, wow. He's really something.
Yeah, not great. But... So moving on from that, so I don't get really angry on this program. What's the next Brooklyn net? Because I think I heard you said you had one more here for it.
I do. So the third net that I'm going to be using is completely up to you guys. Whomever you feel comfortable with. Obviously, I know that there are some people that absolutely love only playing starters. There are some people that are like me and still go off the bench, but you do need a third Brooklyn net, and someone that grades out really well for me is Kessler Edwards at 3,600. Both small forward and power forward eligible. So he grades out really well for me. If Bembry ends up getting the start and you rather have that green check mark, if for some reason Edwards doesn't start, he started last night, he should continue to start here. But if for some reason Steve Nash ends up changing the starting lineup and you rather go with that green check mark, by all means, it's completely up to you guys. It's your lineups, not mine. But the third net that I'll likely be using will be one of Kessler Edwards or Cam Thomas as well at 4,300. I do like Cam Thomas there too. So those are likely going to be the two guys. And I might, David Duke really doesn't grade out well for me. So it's TBD on that one when I get off air and run some rotations there, and I'll update the model for you guys. But I had to be like right before I got on, I updated it, and he's still not grading out well for me. So TBD on David Duke. But anyways, needless to say, I am going to be playing a third Brooklyn net.
So now,
go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I think it. So what it's kind of leading to is we can find some nice mid-range elsewhere. Jeez, what is wrong with me today? I'm broken. But I feel like the strategy is get Harden, get a couple of cheap players from the Brooklyn Nets. Obviously, they're grading out well, and also they're going to have the opportunity. It's a bad Oklahoma City team, and it leads to some nice mid-range players we could probably find.
Absolutely. So I'm going to leave those out because
you'd be giving her entire
because I want to. I'm going to be nice in another fashion. I'll give 5 guys instead of 4. So nice. That'll be my trade.
That'll be your gift to the
That'll be my trade community with you guys for those that are watching and or listening. Instead of giving 4, I'll give 5. But I'm not giving out my mid-range plays.
Those are the one. Well, can you give clues? Are they like in the model that we're finding these?
There's one guy I've been playing since the season tipped off on October 19th on the Memphis Grizzlies, and I'm not letting 1 3-for-15 shooting performance let me.
Oh, I know this. I know the answer.
Come off of him. So that prop absolutely. That one really stung because he shot 3-for-15 and he was getting good looks, and the rotation played out exactly the way that I described it on the show too. Was that he's going to come off early, in that 4 to 6 minute mark, and that's exactly what he did. And then when Ja ends up sitting out the start of the second quarter, that's when he's really going to go to town. And he put up a ridiculous amount of shots, and it just wasn't dropping. I don't care. That's no excuse not to play him again tonight. So yeah, I'm going right back to the well with my boy. But the fourth guy that I'll give out as part of the players that I'm pretty much locking in, no matter what contest or what side I'm on there, no matter how many lineups I land on, is going to be Dennis Smith Jr. of the Portland Trailblazers. Just when we thought Portland couldn't get any thinner, Anthony Simons is not playing in this game. So no Lillard, no Dame, no Storm and Norman Powell, no Larry Nance Jr. It's awfully thin for Portland. Dennis Smith Jr. and Sharp are the 2 guys that I'm locking in no matter what, and then that's how I'm getting my 2 studs. So it's always the one you click a value play, I like to put in my stud right away to see what I'm left with. And those are going to be my 2 main value plays with Smith and Sharp. And then I'm playing Harden and one of Giannis or Joker. Got that power forward spot open. And it's Giannis on national TV to tip off the slate versus Stephen Curry. You know where I'm going. So that's pretty much where I'm starting.
Nice. Look at that. So let's talk about that Golden State Milwaukee game. I know you just mentioned Giannis. That is the biggest game on the slate. Is there anything else besides those 2 in general? Because I know everybody is going to want this game and watch it, and obviously it has 2 of the best players in the NBA in it, and Steph Curry and also Giannis. But is there anything else outside of this, especially with Drew Holiday out?
The slate comes down to, do you have trying to find the PG way to say this. Do you have the
stones?
You have the coconuts. The coconuts. Do you have the coconuts to play Steph Curry over James Harden tonight? That's what you got to ask yourself. In the
You?
contest that I play, I cannot do that because if Harden outscores Curry, I'm fried. So playing higher dollar single entry contests with less people, everyone's going to be playing James Harden. I cannot afford to play Curry over Harden in that one. But if you're playing large field contests, any contest, I don't even want to say just large field contests, any contest that has more than, I would say, 10,000 people in it. So even a semi-large contest, it's something to entertain if you're going Steph and Giannis back and forth. But you still need 3 nets at that point.
Now,
Because
I was about to
if
say,
you're playing it that Harden's essentially triple doubling, and even that's scary to think about by not playing
that's
him.
the one thing I wanted to ask you about in terms of Brooklyn, because it does seem like that if you're going Harden and then a couple of those bench players, it means that this is blowout city. And so I was going to ask you, like, is SGA in play? Like, do we have to play an Oklahoma City Thunder on the other side of this to get things to cash, or to get James Harden in an optimized state where he's scoring his highest, and these guys at the bench are scoring? Does that still lead to anything for Oklahoma City on the other side?
Yeah, it absolutely does. And it was not yesterday, I believe it was Tuesday, where we laid out the SGA Dinwiddie back and forth in that Oklahoma City Washington game to start our builds, and it absolutely smashed. So if you ended up listening and or watching the show, you know that we started with SGA and Dinwiddie going back and forth. No Bradley Beal for the Wizards that night, and he absolutely tore it up for us. I'm not feeling it as much tonight. This is more so of a Josh Giddey type of game environment, and that for me alone is worthy enough to not play SGA as a requirement. I'll describe it that way, in a back and forth with OKC and Brooklyn. But you absolutely can. He's really underpriced. He just doesn't fit my build, because if you end up going SGA over Bane, let's say, you're into some serious punt territory. That's you're playing with fire. So that's the only thing with you're doing that. I'm not coming off Giannis. If you are, it's for Joker. It's only $200 more. It doesn't make a difference in your lineup structure. I'm not coming off Harden, or if you're playing Curry, you can't come off Curry. In that case, either way, you need one of the two. For me, it's Harden. And then if you play SGA over Bane, you're in some serious punt territory. So I'm not saying that it's not mathematically possible, but
it's
playing
difficult.
with some serious fire by doing that.
It's really difficult.
And this is more of a Josh Giddey type game, where 2 small ball lineups. Giddey's going to be rebounding and dishing the rock a ton. It's going to be ball movement is going to be key for the Thunder tonight on offense, and Giddey leads that charge, not SGA.
So are we just Xing out Clippers in New Orleans?
Absolutely devastates me, man, to hear the Paul George news. Apparently, he was like, when that first happened, he was supposed to be back in 2 to 3 weeks. Then they said 3 to 4, and now he might not come back at all this season. So,
jeez,
it's something to worth monitor. Like, you really need to monitor this Clippers rotation moving forward, because you have no idea what they're doing with the direction of their franchise now. You don't know what's going on in those upper management meetings. You have no idea whether they're looking to possibly trade veterans. They're going to showcase them. They're going to give guys like Terrence Mann more minutes, or whether they're saving guys. Like it's playing with fire. So I do like playing primary ball handlers versus the Pelicans. Problem is, with the guys that are left as active for the Clippers, they have 4 ball handlers on the court at once. So it's very, I don't want to say low, but it's very average usage rates for everybody going around. Everybody's constant between 20 and 24% for the Clippers. You want to play Morris? I'm cool with it. You want to play Reggie Jackson, Eric Bledsoe? If there's anybody that I'm touching in this game, it's Amir Kofi. That's about it. Like, if you want to take a shot on Amir, you can. But I can't say with utmost confidence that I want to play a Clipper tonight. But if there's anybody that I'm playing, it's Amir at 52. That's it.
Love it. Does this even work? Can this even work?
On Fanduel, probably. Fanduel, I saw guys posting lineups with like Giannis, Harden, Morant, and Curry or something on in Discord. So like, if like it probably does on Fanduel. On DK, it mathematically works. Just,
I mean, you're going into serious punt territory.
That's the thing, right?
Right?
And then on top of that, it's, you're playing Curry, Ja, and Giannis, right? So that should be close. Like if you're playing that strategy, you need 200 from these guys. And then if you're doing that, do you really like if you're going into punt territory that deep, are you really doing that without James Harden?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. It's like I'm not
That
saying that
seems
it's
really
complete. Like
difficult to do.
if there's
I wouldn't.
anybody that fits lineups that are tight like a tiger, I'm all for it. I try that every day to see what it looks like to capture that upside. You guys know that I'm first or last. Ricky Bobby all the time. And it's like to have that mentality, it leads you to that stars and scrubs build. And if you're doing that, I don't know if I could stomach that tonight with the fact that it doesn't include James Harden. I can more than stomach the concept of that build tonight. I just don't know if I can if I can see it being feasible without James Harden. Like are you really passing up James Harden's upside in this matchup with no Kyrie and no Durant on the floor? That's it's 70-point upside.
Yeah, truly.
So for me, it would be Harden over Ja. I don't know if you can get Curry in with all three of them. That probably won't work.
Yeah, it seems really difficult to do, to be honest.
No matter what, I'm not coming off Sharp or DSJ, and I want a third Brooklyn in there.
I mean, we're only dealing with a 5-game player pool, so it's not like there's going to be so many 3K players. Absolutely. That you can just pick off. I mean, we have a couple of them if you look back at the lineup, and that's kind of all we'll do for today. Obviously, you can fill in the blanks by checking out the projection models, cheat sheets, everything we have to offer. But
if you remove Bane, Bane and then put one of those guys, like let's say you put Curry or Ja, what does it look like? Like it was really tight when I tried it.
I bet it would be.
That's mathematically doesn't work. Because minimum price is 3K.
The highest player we have with all three of those guys is Dennis Smith Jr.
And you're 4K. Still short because minimum price is 3K.
Like you have to punt with literally three stone cold minimum 3K guys.
Right. So let's say we take that last question. I think it was Curry, Ja, and Giannis, and we just go Harden over Curry. Like if you take out Curry here and put in Ja, I don't even know what that looks like. It's definitely not pretty.
Still isn't, no, because Ja is still 9.2K. And so 3.4. So you're not punting with all tight. 3Ks, but you're basically punting with a lot.
And if Ja's going nuts, you would want a Timberwolf on the other side. Like if Ja's taking over this game, you need someone to keep it close because the T-Wolves can get wiped off the court tonight.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like it's real dicey to do that.
Nice. I'm glad we went over it though. Nice little exercise.
This would be a case where I would play SJ or Giddey. That's where you want, like, if you're going that high, and it's not even all that crazy because I'm playing Bane at 66, but like if you want to go SJ at 8 or Giddey's only 7K, it's only $600 more than Bane, but like it's I don't know if Bane's 64 or 66. Either way, it's 400 or 600 bucks more than Bane. So $400 more than Bane to get to Giddey. 1,400 to get to SGA, that would be more feasible. But to go up to Ja, it's I don't know. I don't know if I could stomach that. That's a lot of punts in there. It's a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's where we will end things here on the NBA DFS pre-lock live stream here at WinDailySports.com. Gary Payton or Brandon Clark points.
Brandon Clark in this one. Brandon Clark.
Nice. All right, that'll do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow with more NBA action, and be sure always stay tuned here at WinDailySports.com. Subscribe at Win Daily Sports. Also, what you can do is download the Sharp app. This is sponsored by the Sharp app. Sharp.app is where you can find all of your betting needs over at the Sharp app, so make sure to do that. We'll be back tomorrow with more NBA here at Win Daily.